hello, one and all, and welcome to another exciting adventure on Spirit Sessions of You, the Light. I'm getting a little smudge ready for y'all, straight off my kitchen floor. It took a little spill this morning, so I'm using some other stuff too. So there we go. Hey, I'm so excited about today because on our show, we do get to meet adventurous people. And today we are hanging out with an adventurous Denise Carpenter, who has an amazing and sacred journey that she was on, and she's going to share that with us. And we've seen some of the pictures, and we've already heard some of the stories, so it's going to be so exciting today. So please like and share this out, and you know, the more the merrier with this, and we're so excited. But before we start, we have a little tradition that we like to do, and I'm going to throw it over to Brittany Floyd from Sacred Yin Secrets, a budding author and an accomplished artist. I mean, Brittany is amazing, and she has our card for the week today. Brittany, what you got?
Yeah, thank you for that little introduction. That was cute. Thanks, Teresa. I'm pulling from the Rose Oracle deck here by Rebecca Campbell here, and the card of the week I have is the Rose Thread. And here it says, inner call, soul-led, the mystic, living courageously. This is the card of the mystic, the one who's in touch with the depths of the inner world and the inner weavings of the world and beyond, way beyond. They're dedicated to listening to the mysterious voice whispering within, to following their intuition and living in accordance with that, to living by being guided by the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walking the way of the rose, to being in service to humanity and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and the willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol of the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is the invisible path that the mystic follows. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single person. This is why it requires courage to trust the inner call, and those who do so will find great reward. This card is a sign that you are being called to follow this path, led by the thread deep within. You may find that you're in a place of great change and are being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This card is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next... Oh, I just read that. It's acknowledging the courage it takes to live as a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap. And
wow, Brittany.
It has a little thing here. It says, even when things feel unclear, especially when they do, I trust that I'm always led from within.
Wow. Could that not describe our guest more? I don't know. I was just thinking all that you're saying is all about Denise Carpenter. Now, Denise joined us last summer. Well, I guess it was early summer, before she went on this wonderful journey to Japan. And she was talking to us about Reiki, and she was involved in learning Reiki from the Eastern perspective, like the Japanese Reiki, we would call it. And so she promised to come back after she took a pilgrimage almost to Japan. And you were attuned in Japan. I'm going to put you up big so you can see Denise. Please tell us, Denise, a little bit about yourself, and then just get into why you went to Japan and what happened there.
Okay. So my Reiki journey started in 1996 through, it's not pretty, but through conflict resolution. And from there, I realized through some, you know how Reiki just makes itself known to you? Uh-huh. Well, in an argument, it made itself known to me. And it speaks to me in pictures. And it said I could either choose the path of the warrior queen, you know, full of armor, sword up, shield drawn, or I could choose a path of gentleness, kind of like a Christ-led path, if I can use that word without being religious, like peaceful, harmonizing, nurturing path. Yeah. I said, I'm going to choose the Christ-led path. So that began my journey, just that. And it all happened in about 3 seconds. So in those days, in 96, you couldn't find Reiki teachers in those days. Reiki was not well known in our area at all. So it took me until October before I found a class. And I went to my level 1 in 1996. And I got this message that that's what I would be doing for the rest of my life. Like, this is your path. And it was as clear as, this is your path. This is what you'll be doing. And then over the years, I have many level 1s of different things. And I just kept getting, no, the focus is always for you. It's always Reiki. It's always Reiki. It's always Reiki. So in that level 1 class, as we heard about Mount Kurama and the adventure of Sensei Usui, I said, I got to go climb Mount Kurama. Like, I just got to get myself there. And I always wanted to take a class from a Japanese sensei, like in Japan, Japanese sensei. So we'll fast forward now to 2019, I guess. I heard from a Reiki friend of mine in Toronto that Sensei Inamoto was coming to Toronto to teach. So I signed up for that class, and then COVID came. So everything was canceled. And then in 2024, he was coming back. Now, I have to say, at that time, he's 82 years old. Like, wow. I thought, oh my gosh, how's this guy going to travel here and do all this stuff? And he was scheduled to teach in Toronto. And then I think he was heading to either Edmonton or Calgary to teach again in like the next week. And I thought, like, I just didn't know how that was going to happen until I met him. So here he is, a sensei in kind of a an Eastern dress of like a gi, like we use like karate gis. He had a gi on. So in that Toronto class in 2023, I guess I went. Yeah, in 2023, there were 30 people, and it was awesome. So that was the start of going to Japan. So then in 2024, as these classes came up, I thought, I got to go. And then I don't know how I got invited to go. So I opened up my email so we went in July. So I must have opened up my email in May or April, and there's an invitation to go to Japan. It's sitting in my email. And I thought, okay, I'm going. I don't care what I have to do or what I have to sell. I'm going to go. So that was just so exciting. So I just got back to them and said, yes, I was going to go. And then one of my students, I have 2 students that are now Reiki masters, teachers. One of them, I was just talking about it at one of our shares, and she said, I want to go. So she emailed over, and she was accepted in. And then one of the other teachers, she was in having a Reiki session, and she said, I don't know what's going on, but this little bald Japanese guy is here with us going, come on. So she said, I said, maybe you're supposed to go to Japan with us. So anyway, she emailed over, and she got into the class as well. So the 3 of us headed off to Japan in July of 2024. And so her husband, the one woman, Regan, her husband came and picked me up with her, and we went to Montreal. So we had a direct flight from Montreal to Tokyo. So, and I had been coaching myself. I wanted to just have the experience from a place of wonderment. So I didn't want an agenda in my head, and I didn't want to research all kinds of things. I just wanted to go and just take it in as a child would take it in. So I purposely, the other 2 were doing all kinds of research and doing all the bookings and everything. So I knew I was in good hands, like I would be just fine. So I just kept myself in this place of wonderment. So we drove to Montreal and got on as we get to the airport, all of that Montreal is a pretty easy airport to get your way through. So we got up to the check-in, the boarding check-in, and Regan and I were upgraded to first class. So that was the first signal, this was just going to be awesome. So we get on I don't travel first class. I travel economy, right? So this was my one and only. So I thought, oh yeah. And it's a 14-hour flight. We were direct from Montreal to Tokyo. So here we are, first class, drinking wine, food. It was glorious, I have to say, watching movies, reading books, having a nap. Like it was surreal would be the word I would use, especially in my world, So we get to the airport and Tokyo, I looked it up. Tokyo has how many people? 130 million people are in Japan compared to the 40 million in Canada. No, the 10 million in Canada. And Tokyo has 9 of those 130. So like this city knows how to move people around.
Oh my goodness.
And where
so
you're going.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, it's huge. Oh, I've never experienced anything like that. So we land and again, you're nervous. It's the first time to travel. And I should say my beautiful children for Christmas of 2024 gave me Japanese language lessons. That was my gift. So before I even got to Japan, I had this marvelous experience with these 2 Japanese tutors. So konnichiwa. So I spent months learning just kind of Japanese, how to be out in the public and not make a fool of yourself. And they call it Japanglish. I wasn't even really learning Japanese. I was learning Japanglish. But these 2 beautiful young women we just bonded. So they really helped me. And then they would talk about the culture. So how you greet people, like you don't touch, how you greet, personal space, like because there's so many people, social distancing just doesn't happen. So you also just don't touch, you bow, just different kinds of things. You speak in low tones, that was fun, just getting ready to go on the trip. Those 2 just added so much joy to the adventure. So we get to Tokyo Airport and I'm just thinking, oh my God. So everything is clearly marked. Japanese, and then the next language is English. And then the next language, I didn't know what it was at all. But 3 languages. And everywhere we went, there were the 3 languages that just said how to get from one place to the other. And it was seamless. Like out of the airport, we took the low-cost bus because, already it was expensive to get over there. So we were trying to be, what would you call that? Financially responsible.
Fiscally responsible.
Fiscally responsible. We were trying to do that. So it was just so easy. And then we get to the hotel where the class was going to be held. So the class itself was 4 days intensive in a classroom. And then on day 5, they took us on a bus trip to Mount Karama. And then the next day they took us on a bus trip sightseeing. So it was just like a marvelous time. So we get there and they have everybody gather and it ends up there's people from 10 different countries there. 10. And again, I'd never been in a venue or an environment like that. And I thought, how does this work? And then the official language was English. So everybody had some form of English. And then when we're in class the next day, it took 2 days before everybody could really understand what everybody else was saying in English. And there were lots of helpers. So lots of people, if somebody got stuck on a word, they would translate for them. So that in itself was just awesome. There was, I think, 33 people altogether, 10 different languages. Like it really was just amazing. And now Sensei's 84, teaching 33 people. He did have someone sitting at the front with him, helping him, but he's a Buddhist monk of the Pure Land sect as well as Reiki master. And the style of Reiki that I learned is called Komyo Reiki-do. So he just embodied it. And I thought, well, there's my role model. That's where I want to take my practice, how I want to be. So we had 4 days of in class. And in Japan, we think we're polite as Canadians. Like this was over the top polite. Everybody bowed to you. Everybody greeted you. The service in all of the restaurants was impeccable. And if they didn't speak English, we managed. Like they worked with you until they figured out what you wanted. The hotel where we were, I'm gluten-free and dairy-free. So I always had a special meal in a special box marked with my name on it.
Wow.
Always. Like the service was incredible. The other fun thing about that hotel and the other hotel we stayed in, and I'll get to that in a bit. I'm tall in Japan. I'm 5'5". I've never been tall before. So that was kind of fun to be tall, So that was great. And I can't say enough. My body loved the food. All fresh, always. We stayed in Tokyo. It's Tokyu Hotel. And service was impeccable. The food was impeccable. The environment itself really lent itself to, you felt very safe. You felt very looked after. You could relax into your class and really go into the energy of what was in the room. And I should say, everybody that was at that class was a Reiki master. So you're in a class with 33 plus 2, 35 other Reiki masters. So the energy in that room was just expansive. And I would say we were going into different levels of consciousness, in and out of different levels of consciousness as the lessons were being taught. So that was just awesome, just awesome. And then one night we actually went to Sensei's temple and we did a Reiki share at his temple with, I think there were 60 people. Have you ever been at a Reiki share with 60 people?
Wow.
Like, oh my gosh.
No, my living room only holds 6 or 8, and that's the biggest we've ever gotten.
That's all we get here too, is 6, or at the clinic, the Lotus Wings building is 6. At one time we had 16, and that was kind of mind blowing. But so we're with 60 people. I thought, how are they going to do that? They don't have enough tables, like massage. Didn't matter. They just hauled out the tables that you use for eating. People climbed up on the tables and you'd have 10 people treating you at the same time. It was, again, just phenomenal. Just, it changed a bunch of things in my own energy system, just having these experiences. So the class was just, I can't say enough. You have to take it twice. So I did the Shimpuden level in Toronto, and then I did the Shihan level in Tokyo. So I can now teach. I'm now, I guess you could call me a sensei in that lineage, but I don't do that in Canada. I just say I'm a teacher of Komyo Reikido. So, and then so that was the class part. And every day was something new. Every day was something more. Every day was, and this was my second time to do this. And again, every day was something new, and every day was something more. So the one woman that I traveled with, that was her first time. So she wants to go back in 2026 and take her second time, and asked me if I'd go with her. So you can guess what I said.
Oh.
So hopefully if it all plays out and it's meant to be, I will go back. I would just love to take it again and really just get deeper and deeper into those levels and into those teachings. So on day 5, we went to Mount Kurama. We went on a bus tour. So I should say the weather in Japan is hot in July. Most days were around 40 degrees Celsius. So the first day I learned you don't wear makeup because you sweat it off. Like, your hair is just different. So you have to dress according. You don't wear makeup. I never did my hair, didn't use hairspray because it stuck to my head. My hair stuck to my head if I used hairspray with all this sweat. And you needed to have an umbrella to keep the sun off you, because the first day we did a little sightseeing. We went a day early. We're in Kyoto at this time for the class. So we went to see, what did we go see? The bamboo forest and one other thing, and I can't think of it right now. But that day I got so sunburned because I didn't know to take an umbrella. So then I learned if I'm going to be outside, I needed to have an umbrella, because it's just, the sun just beats you. But I didn't care. I just cream on and went out again. So it was fine. And I should say we landed in Tokyo, and then we got to Kyoto on the Shinkansen. We took the bullet train. So that, and again, it was just awesome. So you're traveling at, I looked up the highest speed it goes is, where is their speed? At 320 kilometers an hour is the highest speed. Let me say that again. 320 kilometers an hour is the high speed. So you try to look out the window and it's just zoot, zoot, zoot,
Wow.
like everything just goes by you. But I don't know that we got that high. I think we were around 2 to 250 most of the time, because if you focused ahead, you could kind of see it as you were going by it. So we took the Shimpanzan to, the Shimpanzan train, the bullet train to Kyoto. And Kyoto has how many people? Kyoto.
So that's about 150 miles per hour.
I know.
Goodness.
And at 100 degrees, between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit for all.
Yep.
Wow.
I know.
For y'all else.
And my body at this age, I thought, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And my body could just adjust. But I think it was the energy. Japan is very spiritual. Very spiritual. And I'll talk to that in a minute. There's 1.5 million people in Kyoto. So 9 million in Tokyo, where we land. And then we go to this little smaller city of 1.5 million people in Kyoto. But Kyoto is in the mountains. So in Tokyo, when you look around, everywhere is Tokyo. Like it's just city after city after city after city. In Kyoto, when you look around, everywhere is mountains. It's beautiful. I think 80% of the land in Japan is mountainous. So the landscape is gorgeous and the energy is gorgeous. And there's the energy of the people is very respectful, and it's very, they see spirit in everything. So in everything. So it's a very spiritual energy, respectful spiritual energy that you're in. So I think my body just went, oh, I can do this, and just adjusted itself to it. Yeah, so climbing Mount Kurama was, I thought, oh my God, I couldn't believe I was there. First of all, I had two things on my bucket list. One was to have a Reiki class in Japan from a Japanese teacher. So I had done that. And my other thing was to climb Mount Kurama. So this trip did both of my bucket list things. So I'll have to get a new bucket list, but I don't know what I'd put in it. So they tour bused us over to the mountain, and then drove us halfway up to the village of Kurama. And it's not elegant. It's like if you just picture a typical village on the side of a mountain, that's what it was like. And then there are just so many shrines. Some of them were in the pictures in the clips at the beginning of this podcast. And there's just so many shrines. So at the beginning of the walk up Mount Kurama is this beautiful shrine. And I think that mountain had 7 spirits that lived in it. So the first half of the second half, so we're bussed up the first half of the mountain, and then there's the second half of the mountain to go to. So the first half of that is all lovely groomed switchback trails. And then at the midpoint, again, are more shrines to the spirits that inhabit that mountain. And then there's a little door at the back and you go through that to keep going to the top, and it is dirt trails. And sometimes there's cement steps. Sometimes there's rocks as steps, and you just start climbing up these dirt trails. Well, when we got to the mountain on the bus, that's day 5. And I'm thinking, oh, I just hope I can do this. Like, it's hot, it's climbing a mountain. We get up the switchbacks, and I knew if I didn't keep going, I was probably going to peter out, because we were going to eat lunch we were going to eat lunch before, and then the group was going to climb up the last part together. And I thought, if I wait for that, once I eat, I know I'm going to be done. So I thought, I'm just going to keep going. So I start up the trail. And at some point, I realized my heart is beating in my ears. And I thought, this might not have been such a good idea to do. There's only maybe 5 other people with me. And so I thought, no, it's the elevation. Like, just keep going. So I did. I kept going. And I actually got to be in the place where, so in the East, it is said that Sensei Usui reached enlightenment in that spot. And Reiki was gifted to him by the divine for doing the work to reach enlightenment. We teach it a little differently in the West. So I actually was on the spot where Reiki was gifted to Sensei Usui. And again, it's just like you would imagine walking a trail on any mountain, like all roots. The trees there, a lot of the roots come outside of the ground. So lots of roots, lots of beautiful trees. You're up in a mountain. It was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. And then I came back down, and we were having our lunch in this middle part where all those shrines were to the spirit beings. And some of the girls had to go down. Some of the people in the class, students, had to go down and carry the box lunches up the mountain. So I'm really glad I missed that part. So we ate out of bento boxes that, 6 of the women had climbed down and brought them up for everybody. So that was just lovely. And then the rest of the group, then, I think there's only 5 of us left behind. They went to climb it. And then I got time alone with Sensei because he needed somebody. He's 84 and he climbed that first half, the switchback part. He climbed that. Like,
wow.
So somebody had to take him back down. And I said, I'll do that. So I got to spend time with Sensei, just him and another woman. So we could chat with him and really talk with him and just get up close and personal with his energy. Like in the class, he was very, very personal, but 33 people, like he had to watch how much time he spent with everyone. But I must have had a good half hour to 40 minutes with him and this other woman. And I have to say my gray white hair really worked well in Japan as well. So
because you're an elder, right?
I'm an elder.
Then you're an elder. So yeah.
So 2 women from Myanmar took a shine to me because I'm out there doing this at this age with this hair. And so one of the women stayed from Myanmar, and her and I brought Sensei back down the mountain. So it was, again, just lovely. And then the next day they took us on a bus tour. Again, luxury coach with a tour guide that spoke English, and took us to more temples. They took us to some of the sites where Shogun was filmed, the movie, the series Shogun. They took us to some of those sites. They took us to these beautiful Japanese restaurants for lunch. Like we were just treated so well. I couldn't think of one thing that they could have done differently to make it a better experience. So that was the first week. And then the one woman I was traveling with, she has 2 little boys. So she came back. And then the other woman and I went on to Tokyo. We went back to Tokyo. So the other woman has this holiday, it's called a holiday package of something, where she can buy these really great deals. So she booked us in to an executive luxury hotel in Tokyo for $130 a night. Canadian each.
Oh, neat.
Nice. It was, again, awesome.
Amazing.
Way out of my field of experience. We couldn't afford to eat there. It was just bizarre. But again, it was just, when are we going to be back there to try that? So I thought, we're here, we're just going to give it a go. So that in itself was just an experience. The breakfast place. The breakfast was kind of like a buffet. It was $50 Canadian for breakfast. I did it 4 times because I just had to go back to there. It's like a huge buffet with everything you could think of: Japanese, Western, Eastern food. And the one wall in the restaurant was a window that overlooked a 400-year-old garden.
Oh,
I thought, I got to spend some time here. So the last day, she didn't think she could come and have breakfast with me. So I went down by myself, and they just treated me. I felt like a queen. They sat me at a table for one. So I'm kind of in the middle of this restaurant with all these very high-end executive people, sitting there having my coffee, eating my, what I had for breakfast. And it was just unbelievable with this 400-year-old garden just sitting here, sending you energy, it was
magical.
Magical. The whole thing was, and again, this hotel just treated us like queens. They knew we couldn't afford to eat there. So, but nothing, there just was no pushback at all. They were just great with us. So the last day, Regan and I decided to have a massage while we're in the hotel. So the massage therapist comes up to your room, and she's got these teeny tiny little Japanese hands. So you lay on the bed and she just gets right on the bed with you, and she just starts working all the muscles, because we're going to be on a 14-hour flight back the next day. So it was just a beautiful ending to the whole thing. And then if I could just talk briefly about the Western Reiki and Eastern
Oh,
Reiki.
yeah. We'd love to hear it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So one of the first things was there's a lot of similarity. So it mainly I would say the difference come in through culture. So in the East, there, again, it's a very spiritual culture to begin with. So level 1, level 2 are all about the hands-on therapy aspects of Reiki. But level 3 and the teacher are all about your spiritual practice. So I'm going to bring that back into my Western practice, where
now I'm going to have to take a course from you. So that's all there is to it.
The level 1 start bringing in a meditation. Like, I'd like them to start. I think it could help them grow in their practice, just a daily meditation. And they give meditations in the notes that you can just bring back and insert into your practice. So that was the big difference, I would say. And again, it's a very simple practice. So his teaching is, you place your hands on the person, you smile, and you surrender to Reiki. So there's no protocol for opening. There's no protocol for closing. It's just, you just be it. And I thought, wow, that's powerful in itself, because as you teach, your student can get caught in the how to do it, as opposed to doing it. And this just took all of that right out of there. You just tuned right into the Reiki energy, and you be it for the person that you're treating, or you be it for yourself, or however that's happening. So that was really different. So there were no protocols for level 1 that you teach. There is a set of hand positions for self Reiki that you do. Level 2, the symbols are pretty much the same. All the strokes are the same. Some of them are just in a different order, so they're pretty much the same. And then when you get into the attunements part, they do 4 attunements per level. So the way I was taught in the West, we would do 1 attunement. So 1 attunement for level 1 with that symbol. Level 2, for all 3 symbols, you just do 1 attunement. But they would do 4 attunements for each of the 4 levels, or each of the 4 times you would be in class. So that was different.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. And the attunement process, again, is the same, but a little bit different. So not a lot of change. It was impressive how similar they were. And he was very respectful and grateful to Sensei Hawaii Takata for her bringing it back to the States. Because this is just an interesting factoid. So he was born in 1940. So he was alive when Hiroshima was bombed. And then before Hiroshima, there were lots of Reiki practices, lots of, I guess you would call it, natural medicines within Japan that people were practicing. And then after Hiroshima, the West moved in to help, but Western medical also moved in to help. And then it kind of people became reliant on more medical procedures rather than natural holistic procedures. So Reiki was, I would call it, maybe had gone underground in Japan for quite a few years.
Back burner for sure, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And then it was a woman had taken her class in New York that brought that style back to Japan. And that's, so it's actually Hawaii Takata that, through her bringing it to Hawaii and doing what she did in Hawaii, and then Phyllis Lee Formioto bringing it to California, they're the ones that kept this style of practice alive. So, I'm very grateful to all of those players. Yeah. So it was. So now again, Reiki's starting to make itself more known in Japan, but the medical procedures still are a little bit more respected. I would say that would be the way to say that. with Reiki coming up. So they kind of equal the West in a way that way. Like I find in the West now, hospitals are recommending if people are going through chemotherapy treatments that they have Reiki either before or after their chemo because it helps with the side effects. And now I'm finding some of the psychotherapists will refer people in either just before their session or just after the session because it'll either help open them up or it'll help them process.
Clear them out. Process.
So I think we're coming up in, I wouldn't call us mainstream, but we're more known now.
That's a complementary as a rapid.
That's the word. Yeah.
Not complementary. Not alternative, complementary, right?
Yeah.
As we always say, it can't do, no, it doesn't do any harm for sure. So
it won't go. No, it will not. You cannot, it won't go.
No.
Or it won't. It just won't. It's always working towards your highest good. Reiki's always working towards your highest good. So it can't harm. It might bring up things you need to look at that might be uncomfortable, but you need to do the work around that. Yeah. So ask me some questions. I've just been babbling on here.
So you were talking. Yeah, that's so on the way home, did you get first class too, or
no.
you had to schlump it like the rest of us, right?
We did order premium economy because it's a 14-hour flight, and we just got to sit. And again, that was lovely. We got to be the first seats out of first class, so you have all that leg room in front of you. So that worked out. That was fine. We didn't get any wine though.
No wine. It must have been on WestJet or Air Canada. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm just trying to take in seeing Mount Kurama. So were you attuned when you did the attunement process? Did you have any special ceremonies when you were up the mountain to go through as a class? I just was wondering if or just being there was
just being there. If we did, I missed it. It's just like
so at the top of the mountain, what can you see? Like just down below, did you feel the energy of Sensei Usui up there, or
all of it? I should have sent some photos of the mountain. So as you're going up the mountain and you look down, it's just this beautiful forest land with these temple roofs, kind of interspersed in the green. So it was just lovely.
Because when I think of Japan, I think of just like one massive city, but it's really not, is it? It's just
not Kyoto. No, we were in Kyoto. Tokyo is one massive city.
Yeah.
But Kyoto was, wherever you look, there was green, there was mountains, there was,
I love that.
Yeah.
There was water. I have a question here. What advice would you give to someone considering traveling to Japan for Reiki training?
Go. Whatever it took. Go. Just go. Just to experience the culture of where it originated really changed some of my own Reiki wiring. Like, always come from a place of respect, always come from a place of this is a sacred practice that we're doing. And I don't know that we teach it that profoundly, that clearly in the West. I know sometimes you can talk about the sacredness of it in class, but it depends on the class where that might go. Yeah. So I would say if you have an opportunity to go. Yeah.
My students.
I love that. Just that state of being. Sorry, Rhonda.
No.
I just the state of being.
Can you feel it?
Allowing.
Like I'm back there now. Yeah. I'm back there. It's just that. It was just that for that whole week.
Yeah, I'm tingling all over just listening to you. So
I'm sweaty.
I'm sweaty. Yeah. And then peaceful. Are you peaceful and aligned?
Yeah.
Yes. It's and people who are watching this, like, just tune into the energy. It's out there for you. Like when we talk about it, my hands heat up. I don't know about yours. My hands heat up when I talk about it. It's a natural reaction for me. So what's next for Denise? You're going to be teaching this style or incorporating it in your classes this way? Or no. How is that going to work?
Yeah. So we're not allowed to incorporate. We have to keep, so the style that I learned is called Komyo Reikido, and it needs to stay
as Komio
Reiki Do. So you have to sign documents and all kinds of things. So I've taught the level 1 Shodan level twice now, and it's just a pleasure to teach. But I teach both. So I teach, I call it Western Reiki through Hawaii Dakata. So just the traditional, the way we've all been taught Reiki, and then I can also teach the other, the Komio Reiki Do.
And you go through the 3 levels with you for the Komio Reiki.
Yeah, there's quite a few teachers actually in Canada. So you could go online. If you go on Komio Reiki Do International, then you can find teachers close to you within Canada that do this teaching.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So next I want to go back to Japan one more time. But I think now that I've had the experience of getting out of one style of Reiki and being introduced to another, I think I might want to learn another style of Reiki yet. One more, and just try it on, see where it does.
And have you got any ones that are piquing your interest? Because I know it's all like facets of the same diamond.
Exactly.
So it's just like you say, it's to expand you more than change you, because the energy is the same. But
yes, I would say that's exactly what happened. I grew. Having this experience really grew my practice. So I'll often, when I'm treating now, I try to stay out of the mind, and I do the hands-on smile. He goes, hands-on, smile, and surrender. So I'll remind myself of that. If I'm getting caught snagging myself or getting too involved in the treatment or whatever it may be, I'll just back up and just remember that. So I think I'd like to learn Jikiden Reiki next.
And where's that originate from?
It's
another Japanese
from Japan, but I think it's got more of a German flavor to it.
Oh wow!
So there'll be more protocols. So more specified hand positions, more protocols. So I just
more like a cheery. Oh my gosh, my brain went. He was all about the hand positions.
Yes. Yeah, so I think it would be more like that. It'd be a bit more specific on what you do. So they didn't teach hand positions in Komio Reiki Do, what I took in Japan. You're to use, and I love this part, intuitive. You start your students being intuitive. You teach them how to do a self session, and then they're intuitive with clients. And that's how I teach the Western myself.
That's myself too.
That's what I learned.
The hand positions are to make you feel comfortable. As far as it's because there are people that need that rote system. But then I said, if there's no way wrong to do it, like you have to. It's so hard. Still, there's no wrong way to do it.
You can't mess up your student. You can't do it
because you're not doing it. You're not doing it. Yeah. So that's the best way. It's Reiki energy flowing through you. You just have to be a really good channel. Clear channel is what I would say. Just like you say, smile, put your hands on it, and let it go. Right.
And then I find to clear your own channel, like Reiki will bring up things for you as the teacher or as the practitioner to work on, so that you can keep your channel clear, or you can clear your channel even more, or clear your channel even deeper. So I think we're a constant work in progress.
Yeah.
No matter what we do. Yeah.
Until we go. Yeah, for sure. Oh, this has been wonderful. Any girls, if you got any questions or any answers, we can all just send Reiki. Brittany, do you have Reiki? I didn't know if you have.
Yeah, I have a Reiki master. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And Teresa's level 2, so we're awesome. Oh, Reiki people, so excited. That's awesome. So are you going to, Brittany, are you going to Japan?
I would love to. I would love to. I need to budget it somehow, some way.
It costs about.
I don't know if I could do with all them people though. But like you said, it's like spiritually, energetically, like I could handle that. But as far as like out here being around all them people, I am not that person.
So I have to come clean here. So the last day. We're in Tokyo. So the woman who had that great vacation package discount, she went down to the pool, and I hid out in my room for the day with a book. I had gone down to the concession stand and bought all kinds of snacks, and I just stayed in my room for the day because I was peopled out.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'm going to be on a plane with all these people tomorrow. I better just stay in my room. So I did with my book. So I hear you. Like it's a lot of people. Wow. But and the other interesting thing, it's a lot of people, but they're so polite. So when you walk down, there's no litter. There's no litter on the street.
I love
None.
that.
It's very clean. And when you walk down the street, if you're walking in one direction, you walk on this side of the sidewalk. And if you're coming the other way, you walk on the other side of the sidewalk. And if somebody comes up behind you that's walking faster, they wait until they can respectfully move around you. So that was mind-blowing, you know. And then the other thing that really was awesome, when you're driving, we were in like Tokyo and Kyoto. These are big cities. Nobody was blowing their horns in traffic.
Neat.
And if you needed to merge, you just put your blinker on, this car backed up and let you come in.
So efficient,
really
right?
Nice.
It was, I couldn't believe it. And then right beside, so we would be in like 6 lanes of traffic on a bus or in a taxi or whatever. And the lane right here would be the one that the scooters were in or people on their bikes were in. They were right there with all of this traffic. And we didn't see one accident. Nobody got hurt. Like it was just be respectful. Like this is how this goes here. It was just awesome. And then you don't jaywalk. So when where were we? We were going to one of the other temples. And then one of the people in our group was a little bit outspoken. So just picture this. She's Greek, raised in New York City.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, she was just a spark of life, right? Just bigger than life. So she decides she's going to jaywalk, and somebody gave her trouble. Like, we don't do that here. Yeah. So you cross at the light, you cross where there's like it's very, and because there's so many people, you know, if everybody just does this agreed upon way of being, it works well.
Well,
Right on.
not much to make chaos and with that many people, right?
Oh, we actually, when we were in Tokyo, we went to, have you seen in movies, you'll see where there's this one street corner where I think there's 4 or 5 streets coming in Tokyo.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And there's just masses of people. We went there because I wanted to see that with my own eyes.
Are those the ones where the buildings are kind of alive with ads and stuff? Or
everywhere you go. It's all, Tokyo is all skyscrapers and ads on buildings. And yeah, but there's like the lights change and this wall of people cross the street and the light changes and this wall of people. It was just.
Wow.
I'd never experienced anything like that before. So yeah, you get peopled out. Maybe. Unless you took breaks. You could take breaks. Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Ask me another question.
Um,
I'm into this now. So
when you were doing your Reiki class with those 30 other people, he attuned them all at the same time, or did you go off by yourself, or how did that work?
Yeah, one by one. Yep. So he'd bring you up in the corner of the room, and then he would just attune you in the corner. And he didn't want anybody watching. So you would just sit in prayer, eyes closed, while everybody, and meditate while people were being attuned, which again adds to the attunement. Yeah, like it was just layer
everybody's energy there. Yeah, everybody's energy there. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's lovely.
That was really cool.
And how he did it, I don't know. Because he's 84 by then. So if I get to go back next year, he'll be 85.
Yeah, but he's been Reiki and he's been a Buddhist monk, so his inner world is so clear that he probably lived to 185.
Maybe he might. He might. And again, he could walk everywhere. He takes good care of himself. He walks everywhere. He meditates on a regular basis. You know, so I think he's a good role model for all of us. Like this is one way to look after yourself if you want to. And he's in service. So he's got this productive, healthy life that he does.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like you say, a really good role model for all of us having productive. What do you think was the best moment of that journey?
Mount Karama. By far. Like it's been on my mind since 96. So a long time. I'd been wanting to do this for such a long, long time. So I would say just being there. And I could feel something from the mountain itself. Like it was a gorgeous energy mountain. But again, the mythology or the teaching there were, I think it had 7 spirits that lived in it. So I didn't want to attribute it all to Sensei Usui or to Reiki, but wow, it was just phenomenal.
Was there a monument to Usui there? Or there's a monument somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah, we didn't get there. It's in Sojiho, Tokyo, which was like a bus ride and a train ride or something away from the hotel we were staying at. And we only had 1 day left. So it was just too far away. Even though it was still in Tokyo, it was still too far away for us to get to.
Yeah, when a city's that big, right? I'm so glad you gave us the description of Mount Kuriyama, because my mind, when we were told in the story, I thought of it as just a big pile of rocks and not all the trees. I thought of it as a kind of a bare mountain, but it's a total different. I don't know what you thought, Brittany, when you were told this story.
I was gonna say I pictured a bunch of rocks, and you know what I mean. Like, I didn't expect all that, which is lovely.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Now I can think of it like a cathedral forest inside on top.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
That's a beautiful way to think of it, actually. And then find a spot on it where you can feel the energy coming together. And that's probably how Sensei Usui chose that spot. Yeah. But I don't know that. I'm just guessing that.
Yeah. That's really cool. Your friend who saw the little bald man that beckoned her to come along, was he the same one that she saw? Like, it was
pretty freaky when we got there.
Wow.
I love it.
She must have really had a soul calling for it. So it's awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, and she would be the one I'd go back with next year. She wants to go back and finish, so I would go back with her.
Okay, that's really good. So you go through this cycle twice in Comionville. Okay.
And you can do the first part in Toronto. I think he's coming to Toronto again this year. I could put that up on my website, ReikiAssociates.com.
Okay.
On there.
Yeah, and it's all in the description of this video. So that would be interesting. In Toronto.
He comes to Toronto. I think he's going to come and just do one teaching this year. But again, I can go on the site and look, and I can put that up on the website so that you can find it.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And you can put it in the comments too on our under our video.
Oh, that would be easier. Yeah.
That'll be playing on Sunday, so that would be awesome. So if you could do that, we'd really appreciate that. And so to your students and to all our students, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing this, because it's been so wonderful for us all. Yeah. I love how you wove the story. It was great. And I hope next year you get to go first class again.
Me too. Oh my gosh. You got to try it once. Just once.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be super awesome. Mm-hmm. I've only done it once, and it was during COVID, and so it was no big deal. And that's just because they shoved me there because I couldn't get on the plane any otherwhere. Oh. But yeah, it was lovely. I'm so glad you've been here. And how do you say thank you in Japanese?
That's the other beautiful thing. So these are the 2 tutors that I had, the young girls. So it's itadakimasu. And it's a huge thank you. You use it for meals, for all kinds of things. And it means thank you for everything. So it's thank you for the people that built these laptops so we could do this conversation, for the people that made the internet, for the people that, it's thank you for all of it. So it's itadakimasu. 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 Yeah.
Thank you so much. And
my pleasure.
That's wonderful. I'll have my husband watch this. Maybe he'll want to go to Japan, because he was into Kido, into the soft part. So he's we got him in sort of sideways into all this. So. It was great. It took him a few years, but yeah, he was doing keto for years. So
Beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Denise, for being here today. Thank you, Brittany and Teresa. And we're
thank you for having me on. This was a delight, and I'm just all charged up again. So thank you for that too.
I'm so glad we got to pre-record this, because Denise and I are going to experience an ice storm maybe this weekend. Yeah. Maybe we can Reiki it away, or
really
make it less intense for all of us. Yeah. And I was getting worried about having power and everything else too. Yeah. But I'm so glad it worked out perfectly. So thank you so much for everything. And you guys, we'll talk to you on the other side. Stay with us. Thanks so much. I'm just got to get the media here. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Bye.